Very slow. Good morning from London. This is Dr. Dermot Hudson, Chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK and official delegate of KFA for the UK, and also Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Egyptian idea. And welcome to anyone who's joining us on this live stream. I'm here today with Comrade Alan Bollen.
Good morning, comrades. Good morning, friends.
Yes, and this is a joint live stream between KFA UK and KFA West of England, which our comrades in Staffordshire, KFA UK, asked us to arrange. We're having it early in the morning because we've got other things to do today, and Comrade Alan will be travelling back in the evening, so that's why we've got it today at this time in the morning. People will be able to watch the replay of it if you're unable to join. And hello to Defender of the DPRK. Good you could join us today. Last few days have been busy few days for KFA UK. I travelled up to Liverpool on Thursday, was 7 hours on the coach travelling up to Liverpool. We gave a very successful meeting in Liverpool, quite well attended, very good discussion, very positive. Members of different political parties were there. And then yesterday, we picketed the BBC in London at Broadcasting House in Portland Place in central London. We picketed the BBC, and we put some videos up and the reports of the meeting up on KFA UK social media. And I think it was very important to picket the BBC because they are one of the main headquarters of anti-DPRK propaganda. And on some occasions, the BBC are actually a lot worse than the US media. Some of the CNN reports of the DPRK have even seemed positive when compared to the BBC. And I'll be basically going to read from the speech I made outside, to explain about the BBC's lies, and I'll add a bit to it. But basically, the propaganda against the DPRK is continuing on all fronts. It's getting quite intense, and we got the lies about DPRK troops being in Ukraine. And yesterday, I was just spying on the Twitter of NK News boss Chado Carroll, and he seemed to be he seems to have gone completely mental. I don't know what he's taken, but he's trying to say now that there's 20,000 KPA troops in Ukraine. Yes, 20,000. I don't know what the man has taken, but I mean this number is ludicrous. If you had 20,000 KPA troops in Ukraine, it would be all over for Ukraine within days, and Zelensky would be hanging upside down from a flagpole. As was the fate of the fascist dictator Mussolini. Because O'Carroll is saying things like that because in reality, despite all his protestations that, he's an independent journalist, well, he's not even a journalist. He actually trained as a journalist after he became head of NK News. despite his protestations, in reality, NK News is funded by the US Department of State, the US Department of Defense, and of course the South Korean puppet regime. And he will basically write whatever the South Korean puppets tell him to do. So that's, and this is a story that the South Korean puppets have been pushing very heavily against the DPRK to further demonize it. And of course, the other puppet, Zelensky, in Ukraine, is keen to sort of push this narrative to make Ukraine look like a victim. Oh no, not only we're facing Russian troops, but now we've got to fight against 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 KPA troops. Oh, isn't it terrible? Please, Mr. American, please, Keir Starmer, send us more of your taxpayers' money.
Well, you know, as an excuse.
Yeah, we need money to fight these North Koreans. You know, it's a lie being sort of put about very widely. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to pick it the BBC yesterday, and basically no country apart from maybe Russia and the former Soviet Union has been lied about more by the BBC than the DPRK or People's Korea. And the BBC's been lying about the role of the DPRK in the conflict in Ukraine, making false allegations and quoting what are unconfirmed reports. Neither Russia nor the DPRK have ever confirmed that there are KPA troops in Ukraine. The BBC has taken upon itself the role of a shock brigade in the propaganda war against People's Korea. It is an official state broadcaster, let's make no mistake about it. It's not independent, but it's run by the British government. Its Director General and Board of Governors are appointed by the government. It is very much an integral part of British imperialism and the British state. If people who work for the BBC are security vetted, just like some parts of the civil service, and it ensures that no one with pro-DPRK, pro-socialist or pro-communist views can work for the BBC, or indeed anyone who is to the left of Genghis Khan. In the BBC, the culture is very much no lefties here, John. BBC staff are 1,000% anti-communist and 10,000% anti-DPRK. They also enjoy huge salaries. Some of them get salaries of nearly £500,000, and they get many privileges like private medical care, free membership of health clubs and gyms, even free wine deliveries in the past. I mean, their lives are very different to us. They serve the elite, but they're also really part of the elite. The BBC promotes the ideology of market totalitarianism and liberal fascism. And I should also, I think, mention, the BBC in the past employed not one degenerate, but several. Two names come to mind: Jimmy Savile and Hugh Edwards. And in the case of Jimmy Savile, his activities went on for years and years, but the BBC turned a blind eye to him. And similarly, Hugh Edwards, the disgraced news broadcaster, was still on the BBC payroll even after he'd been arrested. What a scandal! I think what is disgusting about the BBC is we had to pay a license fee. We have to pay to watch and hear their lies. We have to pay £169 a month. But of course, you can challenge that. You can cancel your TV license. We urge everybody who's watching this live stream, and we urge all KFA UK members and supporters to cancel their TV license. You can do it because you need to stop watching BBC TV, but we would recommend you do that anyway. Here are some examples of the BBC lying about the DPRK. I'm not going to list them all because there are endless examples, and we would be probably still here about 10 o'clock at night if we listed every single example of the BBC lying about the DPRK. And indeed, as I put in my article, if I had £1 for every lie told by the BBC about people's career, I would be a billionaire. I would be the same as Elon Musk by now. Elon Musk. Well, what a complete parasite. Anyway, but basically, last year the BBC ran a program called Inside North Korea. Didn't call it the DPRK, and it alleged famine and starvation. Blah blah blah. Now, if the BBC was right about the DPRK, everybody in the DPRK would have starved to death, not once, but probably 4 or 5 times, and there'd be no one alive there in the DPRK. And of course, this program was made in cooperation with Daily NK, which is a far-right anti-DPRK website in South Korea, funded by the US National Endowment for Democracy. And the Daily NK is so bad, they make NK News look like they're harmless, which of course they're not. But this is an example of the kind of rubbish the BBC puts out about the DPRK. The BBC's demonisation of the DPRK is not just about anti-communism, because this is the main basis of it, because the DPRK is a socialist country, but it's also based on Orientalism and deep-seated racism towards Korean people. The BBC has multiple aims in its propaganda against the DPRK. Firstly, it's to portray the DPRK as a potential enemy that will be attacked in a war, and they're doing this with the lies about DPRK troops in Ukraine. Secondly, it is to smear and slander the socialist system in the DPRK, with the aim of turning people against the DPRK, as well as facilitating regime change in the DPRK to bring down the socialist system and restore the capitalist system. And of course, the BBC actually does broadcast in Korean as well. And in the past, as older viewers will know, the BBC played a role in overthrowing socialism in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe. Thirdly, I think most importantly, the BBC, by creating a false narrative about people's career, are actually hiding the truth about the massive achievements of people's career, which I saw with my very own eyes last April. they're trying to hide these achievements by creating a smokescreen of lies and untruths about the DPRK. And the aim is to serve the ruling elite, to serve the bourgeoisie by trying to say, well, there's no alternative to the rubbish system we've got here, where living standards go down all the time, where prices go up all the time. It's basically telling people, well, there isn't anything better. So, I mean, that's the aim of the BBC. Anyway, we say picketed the BBC yesterday. Alan also made a short speech there, and we handed over a letter of protest, which we're in the process of publishing today, which was addressed to the Director General of the BBC and gave examples of false coverage of the DPRK, and a member of BBC staff accepted it, and we were told it would be with the DG within the half an hour, I believe, Alan.
Well, that security person who took of us that letter told us that letter will be delivered to General Director of BBC by 5 minutes.
Oh, right.
The first version was to go personally inside, but then one of the security lady said we cannot go there, and we's gonna call to someone to coming to us from the management. And that's what happened later. One of the manager came to us. I handed personally that letter with a request, polite request to pass that letter to General Director of BBC. As I heard, he proved that it's gonna be delivered by 5 minutes and ask only who we are. So I explained this protest from Korean Friendship Association UK against the lies of the BBC. Follow to the picket, I think that was quite successful from that reason, because we marked that Korean Friendship Association are the people who are disagree with that, what they're trying to spread the false propaganda all over the UK. The meaning is the mark the people who standing outside BBC are visible and protesting. So there in the BBC building is many windows, and I think they seen us, and this is the positive impact, I think, because not first time, but another time they seen that in the UK are people who not copy with the scheme what they're trying to set up for all the society in UK in the meaning of the false picture of DPRK. And this is the positive impact of this picket. There will be more pickets. That's what I want to consider to say. Another thing is my personal pleasure that I had pleasure to say directly in front of the entry of BBC by big speaker. BBC, you are liars. Yes, you are liars. And I repeat that few times. So they heard that and they know that they are liars. Many people been around heard the same. That's my personal pleasure, I would say. I had some satisfaction when I told that and the personally in front of the BBC. I think was quite successful, and we will follow to this way in the future. We will see what will be the impact of the letter we were given yesterday. However, if there will be impact, will be any response or not, in the letter is mentioned that whichever way you're going to answer, yes or not, that will be public. In the case you will not answer, there will be public too. And it shows your ignorance. So let's wait how BBC is gonna to manage that, carry that letter, which way, how they're gonna to answer us. In case they will not answer, that's worse for them. That's what I think I'm gonna say about this yesterday. Thank you.
Right, thanks, Alan. Very, very good comments. I mean, in general, I think we need to increase our activities and we need more participation in them. People have got to sort of come off Discord and Telegram, Twitter, and so on, and actually come to real life events, and of course to the online events. We'd be holding another online event on the Monday, the 18th. That'd be a Q&A and study session. So people are welcome to come to that. Please register in advance, though, if you haven't been to one before. So please register in
And
advance.
send the questions to
And
us.
yeah, quite right. Send the questions to us. But we can make an impact and we can defend people's career with no ifs or buts more effectively if we have loads more people at our events, because that is what counts. Because anyone can sit on the internet and sort of type out things on Discord or whatever, but what counts is actually feet on the ground at real events. Anyway, do you want to say anything else, Alan? And we're trying to take a few questions.
Well, I think we can move to answer for your questions. And if you have any questions, please do now the live stream. Very welcome any questions to answer me and Dr. Dermot.
And just banning a troll here. Right. Good evening from Newcastle, Australia.
Good evening.
Oh, it's good evening. Yeah, it's evening in Australia already.
Thank you to join us from Australia.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, the BBC is indeed garbage. Yes, it is rubbish. Keep up the good work, Dr. Hudson. The DPRK is an example to us all, and one day the truth will prevail. Yes, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, that's what we defending the truth. That's what's the reason to pick at the BBC, which is the on the top of the liars.
Yeah, I mean they are like the headquarters of anti-DPRK propaganda, along with NK News and the Daily NK and South Korean media. Of course, all these are linked. Yeah, there is a sort of cabal of anti-DPRK journalists, many of whom are actually paid by South Korea. Right. Well, please fire away with some questions. I mean, we run the stream for another 30 minutes, and then we call it a day. And people will be able to watch this later if they haven't been able to sort of make it this morning, if they're particularly people in the UK, if they're at work, or they're in uni lectures or whatever. But please put your questions and we will answer them.
No questions yet?
Good faith question. That yeah, in response to the question from Gregor about the use of bold-faced, bold type for the names of the leader.
We're using sometimes.
Yeah, such as President Kim Il-sung, Chairman Kim Jong-il, Marshal Kim Jong-un. That simply reflects the massive respect that the Korean people have for them, and that they are the leaders of the Korean Revolution. So that's why it's
That's the reason why
yeah, why it's
want
done
to.
like that. Right. Well, sometimes it's slow on the stream getting the questions. You know, there's a bit of a time lag. Right. Okay.
Yeah, even in the books of foreign languages publishing house from Pyongyang, you can find this in the bold and the big letters
Yeah.
of the readers of the DPRK because of the respect. Yeah, that's the special attention to
Respect
pay.
and
Yeah,
their role in
yes.
the revolution. It's important to stress that in the DPRK, the leader is not regarded as an individual. That is why the term personality cult is so wrong.
I don't understand
Yeah, the leader is not an individual. The leader is a center of unity in society. You know, something that everybody can unite around. And in the DPRK, the leader, party, and masses form an integral whole. DPRK has single-hearted unity. No other country in the world has this. This is fact. And this whole idea, the so-called cult of personality, is basically a bourgeois and revisionist construct. It was all started by Khrushchev in 1956 at the 20th Congress of the CPSU. And what he did was to create a big smoke screen around the issue of the so-called cult of personality of J.V. Stalin. But what this was really to do was he introduced revisionist policies to actually start moving the USSR away from socialism, and he did that by attacking the preceding leader, Stalin, and slandering the achievements of socialism. And ever since Khrushchev opened his big ugly mouth in 1956, the imperialists, the Yemeni side, have also used the issue of the personality cult, but in reality, it's an artificial construct that actually poses the leader and masses against each other, and it's still totally artificial.
I like to pay your attention to where is the country where actually is cult of personality, and you can easily find UK. Why? Have a look how many books been or already printed and spread on all the libraries. How many newspapers has the picture of Queen Elizabeth III, Queen Elizabeth II, all the royal family. How many names is on the hospitals? How many names on the schools of the royal family?
And
And
on,
where? And
and
yes,
on stamps,
how on
and
stamps,
coins, yeah.
money, banknotes. So you have to ask yourself, where actually is the cult of personality in the DPRK on UK? On the one of the broadcasts of Radio Belarus, I spoke about this. Where is the cult of personality? So if you look actually where is the cult personality, you can easily find in UK, not DPRK.
Yes, and basically in the UK, it's a cult around people who do nothing. You know, I mean, Marshal Kim Jong Un this year, he's paid not one but 4 visits to the areas in the far northwest of the country that were affected by floods. You know, and he's gone to give guidance to make sure the houses are being built, to make sure they're good quality construction as well. He's doing this. Can you imagine Charlie Boy, as my mother always used to call him, old Charlie Boy, she used to call him, doing that? Can you imagine Keir Starmer doing that?
Just remind the funniest example of the cult of personality in UK is who is living in UK. They know you can go to any store and buy King Edward potatoes.
Yeah.
It's the name of King Edward.
Yes, potatoes named after a king. Right. We are taking up the questions. HK Man. Dr. Hudson, your book on the supposed starvation in the
Yes.
DPRK during the drought in the early 90s, I think would be a great source to counteract all the propaganda. Yeah, back in 2020, I'd been meaning to do it for years. I wrote the book called The Famine That Never Was. I'd been planning to do that for years, and because I was actually in the DPRK in 1996, in June 1996, when supposedly, if you believe the mainstream media, if you believe the BBC, millions of people in the DPRK were supposed to be dying, but we saw nothing like that. The situation in the DPRK was normal. We saw no one starving, no one begging for food. Admittedly, things were tight then. We saw that they were growing food in all sorts of unusual places, such as the grounds of a hospital and the grounds of different public buildings. But there was not the mass starvation that the bourgeois media claim, or that people like Miss Plastic Face in the US claim. It just wasn't real. And yeah, I finally in 2020 wrote the book about it, and
the famine never been. Yes.
Famine That Never Was. I'll put a link
Was.
in the chat in a minute to that, and then just look at the other. Oh, someone's put they just ordered it. Oh, that's good. But I'll put thank you very much. We put the link anyway in the chat. Khrushchev was a traitor. Yes, indeed, he was. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. A cult ruler is someone who doesn't deliver on promises. I mean, also, I think in the West, you have cults around useless figures like pop stars, like Madonna, just to give one name off the top of my head, and different film stars, people whose lives have no relevance for the rest of us, but every day you can read about their lives on social media or in the tabloid press. I mean, that's an example of a cult. The anti-DPRK hatred here on YouTube is insane. Yes, I agree, and it's fomented by the bourgeois mainstream media, the imperialist mainstream media, and of course, unfortunately, we got to always remember that YouTube is, of course, an capitalist platform. It's really owned by Google, a giant US monopoly corporation, which some people actually claim was actually set up by the CIA. I don't know if that's true, but I'm sure Google and the CIA are closely linked. And they've been deleting pro DPRK YouTube channels as well. I think that's an important point. And recently, Comrade Fyong had her channel deleted, even though it wasn't active, because regrettably she has cancer. She's very ill, so I think about 6 months ago she said she wouldn't be uploading content to it, but her channel was deleted anyway by YouTube. We had our other channel, KFA UK, also deleted, but we've brought another one back. We're on Rumble. In fact, I must upload a lot of stuff to Rumble. And I think you're going to start looking at Odyssey and start backing up, put stuff from this channel onto Odyssey as well. I think it's important. But the amount of pro DPRK channels deleted by YouTube is incredible. I mean, sure, people might remember, because about 3 years ago, you had an excellent channel, Echo Truth, with a young girl who I believe was actually a student at Pyongyang University of Foreign Studies. I mean, she was giving direct reports from the DPRK, basically about life in the DPRK and what was going on, what was happening.
No political.
It wasn't very political or ideological. It was simply about, what it's like to live in the DPRK. Very popular. Of course, YouTube deleted it, and they also deleted the channel with the very young girl, Miss Song A,
shows true.
who was a young school student. They also deleted that channel, and years ago they deleted the Stims Careers channel, which was obviously run by German, because that is Voice of Korea in English, and they deleted that. They don't want people to know the truth about the DPRK, but at the same time, as Gregor rightly points out, there is a lot of horrendous anti-DPRK propaganda
24 hours
on YouTube, and some of the most crudest rubbish imaginable.
You would have to employ army of people to sit in 24 hours to debunk of all of the lies of the DPRK, which will be, I don't know, will be success even, because the propaganda is the massive scale, industrial scale, and is working at 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it is truly horrendous. It is indeed, as Alan says, 24 hours. It's virtually every minute of the day, and it's grown over the years. I mean, it's always. Yeah, thank you, HK Man, for ordering the book. I'll just put a link for anyone else who might want to buy it, just in case people. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I mean, in terms of publications, Alan's working on a book. I've got 2 plans for books next year. I'm planning to write 2 new books next year, and I may update some of the existing books. So please watch this space. Going to be very active.
Yeah, my book could be ready end of this year. That will be about future idea, how working in society, and also about future idea, how can work in your personal life, something new. I think that's at the end of the year we should be ready with some of the scientific explanation and the future idea, many quotations, Some of my story, how I joined to KFI, and also many interesting things about Juche idea and the POK society and history. Should be ready end of the year.
Yes. Right. Thanks, Alan. Okay. Well, if people want to fire away for a few more with a few more questions, I think we go for another 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean this is an interesting point. You know, some people reject anti-China propaganda, but believe Western anti-DPRK propaganda. Well, I think with a lot of cases, there are people prepared to believe the worst about the DPRK, and I remember a few years ago when Jeremy Corbyn was leader of the Labour Party, a supposedly left-wing leader of the Labour Party, but I put left-wing in inverted commas. But I'm not going to discuss the rights and wrongs of Corbyn here. But there were people who would say, "Oh, but the BBC, they're telling lies about Jeremy Corbyn, they're lying about Jezza, it's terrible." Same sort of people are would believe whatever the BBC told them about the DPRK, and I think there's a lot of on other things. Some people are pro-Russian but anti-DPRK. I think with China, it does have a very big pro-China lobby behind it. It is a very big country, and there's a pro-China lobby exists in many countries. So some people will listen to them, but not listen to the DPRK. Hearts Iron recommend books for people interested in learning the truth about the DPRK and Juche.
I think the first you can if you can copy paste the link to our online central library, you can find plenty of very good books about Juche and DPRK, and also Dr. Dermot has plenty of books.
Yeah, I mean that's a good idea.
At the moment, if I remember, we have 226 or 28 books about DPRK, Juche idea. We can find every issue from past time from People's Cora Today, which been published also with plenty of articles about DPRK, and plenty of works about DPRK. Include of the main ones like on the Juche idea, work of Kim Jong Il, work of Kim Jong Un, foreign publishing house of the Pyongyang. Many plenty of interesting books you can find for free and download to you on the PDF format or whichever format.
Yeah, I'm just putting
I think it's a good idea.
many links as possible. And there's also a KFA main library, and you've got the Understanding Korea series on that, which are
quite good series to understand. Yeah, every aspect of the life of the POK, culture, politics, defense, economy, history, and our central library has plenty of books also for free.
Yeah, I'll put that.
Thank you for that, because that would be, I think, useful for
Yeah,
people.
I mean those are books that are, I think, good starting point. The Understanding Korea series, the series that came out about 10 years ago about different aspects of the Juche idea, as well. And as I say, my books, which people are aware of, I would recommend. Don't know if you can pass it over, the small red book at the end of the bookshelf. No, at the end, right?
What?
No, at the end, very small.
Oh,
That's
the
it.
one, yeah.
Yeah. Right. So.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
Juche
idea. Juche idea. Answers to 100 questions.
I think it's in the library.
That's in the library. It's on my blog as well. You can easily find it. I think that's one of the, if you're starting to learn about the Juche idea, this is the book to read.
Very simple to understand.
Yeah,
very
and also Comrade Kim Jong-il's on the Juche idea. And we did about 3 years ago now. 3 years ago, we did a online course on the Juche idea.
Yes.
That's there's like a video of that. There's an ebook of that as well.
On YouTube,
you can find the ebook. I don't like to put fiddle about with YouTube because it's probably going to be sound. And they so
yeah, there is book and also is ebook, because that was 12 parts, 12 meetings each month about Juche idea on all the aspects. From that, there is a recording. It's been recording and put on the YouTube, and also you have book from this. The book is called Juche Idea Study Course, and it's full of graphics, colorful graphics as well, the same. And there is also short study, right, the Juche idea.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. Hang on.
There is study, yeah.
Where we go. I'll just start. Right. Right, okay, right. A couple of things to come up with. Well, Ukraine, I mean, we talked about that at the beginning. The stories are unconfirmed. The evidence for DPRK involvement in Ukraine has been shown to be fake, and not even very good fake, but very clumsily photoshopped image, showing someone who supposedly is dead, but it's not even dead, with a fake KPA identity card, which has been shown, as Alan said, to be photoshopped, and the fonts used in the identity card was traced back to South Korea. In fact, in Russia, you've got ethnic Koreans live in Russia anyway. About, I think, 100,000 or 200,000 ethnic Koreans live in Russia. Some of them probably serve in the Russian army.
And the Asian faces of human doesn't mean are on Korea. There are plenty of Yakuts, Buryats. They have Asian features of the face, and this is the misunderstanding of them. In my opinion, for the question is, do you think that DPRK will become more involved in Ukraine? Firstly, if DPRK would like to involve more, they will publish official statement.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yet. So it's not official.
Yeah.
Secondly, in my opinion, DPRK doesn't have to involve to Ukraine. Russia is going very well and doesn't need any support of DPRK in this case. It just simply doesn't need.
Yeah. I mean, has been a treaty between the Russian Federation and the DPRK signed, and that's now been ratified. That's an important document. And either side can ask for military assistance from the other side. I mean, there's provisions for that, but as Alan correctly says, it is not happening at the moment. And the stories are just ludicrous in the fact that they keep using different numbers. You know, I've seen all sorts of different numbers. You know, I've seen 15,000, I've seen 10,000, seen 8,000. And as I say yesterday, as I said at the beginning, Chump O'Carroll of NK News was saying it was 20,000. You know, they can't even agree on the numbers. You know, if it was real, they would you know, not keep giving different figures. They would have you know, an exact or an approximate number. You know, they wouldn't keep having to change it. I mean, that's a surefire sign that it is BS basically. I mean, I mean, in the past, the DPRK has given very limited military assistance to a number of countries. I mean, the two notable examples I can give, and in fact, a third one, is firstly during the Vietnam War, the DPRK assisted the Vietnamese people in their liberation struggle, and President Kim Il Sung actually publicly called for volunteers to go to Vietnam. This was, you know, made. He made a speech at the conference of the Workers' Party of Korea in 1966. And he, you know, he said it was important to send volunteers to Vietnam. This was all done very, you know, quite publicly, and they dispatched a squadron of Air Force pilots, the Korean People's Army, but also artillery units and engineers. But the numbers were relatively small. It wasn't didn't reach 10,000 or anything like that. They fought well in Vietnam. There's KPA pilots who are buried in Vietnam. And dare I say, I'm hoping all of you will get the opportunity to go to the DPRK one day. There is a special gallery in the Fatherland Liberation War Museum, which shows the KPA pilots in Vietnam. And the other example was, of course, the KPA Air Force fought in the 1973 war against the Israelis, and also assisted Syria. And the last example was apparently KPA Special Forces helped foil a coup by French mercenaries in the People's Republic of Benin in the 70s. So just a few examples, but there's never in its history has DPRK sent 20,000 troops abroad to fight in a conflict. It's just.
And I would advise to Zelensky to pray to be not sent, because as you know, Korean People's Army is most effective army on the world. They are just fanatics. They are due to army. They are professionals, and for example, the rules and do or die means the fighting until end. It doesn't matter to sacrifice the life. So I would advise to Zelensky better not to go to troops from the DPRK, because there will be end of Ukraine and him as well very quickly.
Yes, I mean, as Alan said, the KPA is based on the principle of each soldier is a match for 100 of the enemy. The KPA troops are inspired by the Duce idea. They are different to a capitalist army. So they would fight and win. And Zelensky is just whining. He's making these stories up so he can get more money from the taxpayers in the UK and the US. And it's criminal that resources are being diverted to Ukraine when they're cutting winter fuel payments for pensioners here. They're cutting social security. Housing is in a bad state, but all the money's going to the Ukraine. Right. Ha ha. What is your weight loss secret? You're looking great. Keep it up. Oh dear, flattery. Well, don't want to sort of spend too much time speaking about myself. First of all, since January, I've stopped, apart from once or twice, eating sugary food. I stopped eating that. I'll cut down on.
Doesn't want. I propose him.
Yeah, I cut down on snacking. You know, it's also a money saving measure. You can waste a lot of money on snacks and sweets and cakes. You know, you save £5 or £10 a week doing that, and more exercise. I usually walk for 3 hours on a Sunday. I try to walk an hour each day.
Very good.
I have a small workout routine. You know, when I can, just do 1-2 press ups and sit ups, and that's it. Really, yeah. I would like to. I would like to come to Belfast again. Do another meeting for KFA Ireland in Belfast, or indeed in Dublin, which would be good. But you know, I'd like more people to come to the meeting in Belfast than there were last time. But yeah, I'd like to visit Ireland again, do a couple of meetings, and you know, a bit of a tourism, visit the Falls Road as well. So yes, you know, I'm, you know, all for coming to Ireland if possible. Right. Yeah, I mean, totally agree with Gregor's comment. It's disgusting that they are funding the Nazis in Ukraine. Right. Okay. Well, we're near 12 people on the stream. I'm sure a lot of people are going to watch this tonight. Okay. I think we should finish now. I think it's been a very good stream. Thank people for their support and for their comments today and their questions. And we will keep up the good work in defending people's career with no ifs or buts. We're committed to massively expanding our work. We need support from you, though. We need people coming to the events, to the online events. I know a lot of stuff tends to be a bit London centered. We didn't really plan that way. We're open to holding meetings outside London. As say, we had one in Liverpool on Thursday, which was a great meeting. And basically, if you can organise a meeting in your locality, I'm sort of open to trying to travel there to address it. It's not hard to actually organise a meeting. All you need to do is find a venue and then advertise the meeting. I mean, we can advertise it on our social media. So, you know, we would like more KFA meetings up and down the country. I've been saying this for a long time, but if you're a university student, why not register KFA UK as a society at your university? then we can hold meetings at the university, and I think we can actually book rooms free or at very low cost. And I've been saying this for a long time. I hope someone's actually going to go and do it. That would be a very good way to expand our work. Anyway, Alan, do you want to say anything in conclusion?
Well, I want to say thank you very much for all of you who joined the meeting, and please keep the good work. And as Dr. Dermot said, if you have any possibility to organize any meeting or anything, please let to know. We support you, and we do all together to defend people's career with no ifs and no buts. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. I'll just very quickly mention we're also planning a meeting in Taunton
Yes,
in the new year,
in the new
but if not Taunton, is slight possibility it might be in one of the
year.
other
Bristol.
West Country towns like Bristol. So watch this space, as they say. Anyway, I think it's been great this morning. Thank everybody again for joining, and see you all again. I'll probably have a regular Friday night live stream in 1 or 2 weeks. So see you all again soon, and have a great day. Goodbye, comrades.